Slow motion, that door, isn't it?
Yeah.
And welcome to Harrietsham Parish Council for our July meeting. June meeting. Wishing the world away. Let's start with Martin with your report, if that's okay.
The only thing I wanted to mention this evening was that we had a road trader visit at Harrietsham last week, and we had 2 victims. One parted with some cash, so that's we're hoping the other one paid by credit card, because they're still on holiday. We don't know the answer to that. It's been reported to the police, actual fraud, and I've submitted an intel form to our intel unit as well. We've managed to gather some intelligence, so we've got a registration number from neighbours and a name of the company, but I don't think the company's genuine, but it's obviously being looked at the moment. I've given Amanda the number for actual fraud and the consumer advice line. I think, did you get the email about the advice on the website?
If it's this evening,
no, it would be. I've also emailed Amanda some things I've pulled off the actual fraud website as well. In particular, advice about road traders, what to do, what not to do, quotes, being given written notice that you've got so many days to cancel, that sort of thing. One of the victims is back from holiday, but the other one isn't due back till tomorrow, so she can't be spoken to yet. Just wanted to raise the profile that these people are about, and try and encourage people to get quotes from reputable companies and not people who knock on the door, really.
Yeah, what sort of work did they do?
It was gutters, fascias, that sort of thing, UPVC.
Right.
I've seen the work. It's so shoddy, even someone like me knows it's bad. One of the downpipes wasn't even plugged into the gutter. That's how they left it. Really bad. I don't know whether Ryan's got any more on that, but
we did have a separate call about that from Greenway Court Road. It's a very similar thing with road traders, so it's probably going to be the same lot.
The same one.
Yeah, so I'll catch up afterwards, and I did see your call about it. We'll have a chat and we'll see if we can. Dave might be back tomorrow, so either myself or Dave, we'll see if we can go and visit the victims for that and see what we can do. Yeah.
I know John's contacted one of the informant.
Right, okay.
But because her sister's one of the victims, and the victim doesn't know that it's been reported to the police yet. So she wants to talk to the police and whoever before they go around and talk to the sister, but
Yeah.
John knows that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, and that leads us nicely into PC Ryan Waring.
Yeah, so Dave's not here today because he's off sick. So I've just done the figures for him. Between the 31st of May and 28th of June, there was 4 crime reports for Harrietsham. There was a criminal damage on the 24th June on West Street. On the 16th, there was a theft from a motor vehicle again on West Street. 15th of June, there was vehicle interference on West Street. And the 6th of June on East Street there was a burglary, and other than that, sort of ASB related, is 24th of the 6th, Harrietsham railway station. Someone called in, they thought someone was exchanging packets, possibly drugs at the railway station. And then on 23rd of June, Greenway Court Road, that was the road traders.
Yes.
Then we had the 16th of June, Fairborn Lane, suspicious event. There was a vehicle driving around someone's property. We did run the vehicle through. It's not known to anyone. It doesn't belong to anyone who's known to us, so we don't think it's anything to worry about, but obviously just something to keep an eye out for. 16th of June, Southfields Way, nuisance use. I think that's just kids being rowdy, that someone asked them to move on and they did. And then the 6th of June, Church Street, they were poaching. I think that's from the lakes. Yeah, people fishing obviously where they shouldn't. So yeah, got all that to keep on top of. Something else I forgot to actually put it in, but in a lot of rural areas around here at the moment, we're having a problem with thefts of trailers and plants. Not plants, plant, as in like agricultural machinery. So we've had some from Staples, we've had some from Bottom and Chelsea area, we've had some from like Linton, that side as well. So all different areas. So obviously, if you know anyone who has trailers, any sort of trailers, flat trailers, I4 Williams are the main ones they target, horse boxes, anything there. There's been quite a spate of it recently. And sometimes with the plant as well, they tried to steal the JCB, but we got called whilst it was in progress, so they didn't manage to get it. We did have a pursuit, and unfortunately we didn't get them. They got out, we got the helicopter up, but we still couldn't find them. But we've got intelligence to people we think it might be, so we are on top of that. We are progressing with that. But obviously, if you see anything suspicious, if you're driving around late at night and you see a suspicious looking vehicle with a trailer hitched up on the back of it with no plates on or something like that, please call it in. Even if we can't get out at the time, just that intelligence, we might be able to see where the actual vehicle's registered to, or who it's insured to, or where it's going on the ANPR cameras in different directions might give us a bit of an indication as to where it's all going. So please, anything you get, call it in. And while I'm here, this is Mike. He's going to be Dave's replacement, if you can replace Dave. I know.
Dave's leaving in July. He's taking up one of the new roles we're doing.
Right.
And Ryan's leaving as well. Leaving in September, taking up another new role. So I am taking over Dave and Ryan's role of Harrietsham, Lennon and North Down. So my name's Mike Sparkfield. And I'm the local PCSO. So nice to meet you all.
And we wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you every month. Actually, it was quite concerning there, the amount of kind of West Streets you reeled off.
Yeah,
Because we do get the occasional thing, but obviously for quite a few within 1 month.
Yeah, we thought that as we were going through the
Obviously it's the same person.
We did double check
Yeah.
to make sure that it was definitely West Street.
Yeah, sometimes they sort of go in spades. You're in one area.
Sorry, Mac.
Yeah, the time frame for the West Street incidents.
As in times of day.
Yeah,
I haven't got them here, but I can find out on there and let them know.
would be handy to know if it
Yeah.
was evening or
Yeah, okay.
during the day.
Yeah, we can find out. I imagine it'll be evening, but
It
I'll
was all within
find
8
out.
days. Sorry, it was all within 8 days, I think, from the 14th.
Yeah, between the
What time?
Yeah, but within
Yeah,
that time
yeah,
frame.
we can
Yeah.
find out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll come in, man.
Thank you.
Well, that's lovely. Well, thanks ever so much. Thank you. Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay, we can now move on to the...
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Well,
I think it'll just shut itself down.
So it might need your magic touch again, I think. Is it?
Just leave it.
Yeah. Is it? There you go. Okay, we're going to move on to public discussion now. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask before we move into the main agenda? And I'd just like to offer apologies for Councillor Tom Sands and also for our new County Councillor Prendergast, who can't be with us this evening. And that's it, yes, because Tim's here.
Vickers.
That's right,
Yeah.
you just ghosted in. Yes. Okay. The minutes of the last meeting, I take it that everybody's seen the minutes of the last meeting. Yep. In which case, could I have a proposer, please, or is anybody that's arising from that? Glenda? Have a second, please? And second. Okay, yeah, everybody's in favour, I take it, the fact that you do so many things. as part of this instance. I know that I'm on to item number 4 on the agenda, but I'd like to welcome Nick Osborne from Harrietsham Parish Council. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy your evening. And it's not too long and arduous, which I don't think so. Not till we get to the leather part. Okay, item number 4 is a declaration of interest. Is there any changes to the register of interests? No. Do we have any declarations of pecuniary interest? Yes.
If we discuss, which we probably won't under planning, because of the way.
Right, okay, yes.
Yeah, we won't.
No. And are there any requests for dispensation? Okay, which brings us on to planning. The planning report very rarely kind of changes from one month to the next. But if there's anybody that's got any items.
We had some good luck, didn't we, on West Street, that they got refused.
Yes, so did you want to?
Not really.
No, okay, yeah.
It was unanimous.
Yes, we had a,
Yeah, at the committee meeting.
yeah, it was a meeting that was discussed in quite full actually at the committee meeting, and I think I've counted about 20 different reasons why the West Street application actually got turned down.
Mr Chairman, this is the one that's on the corner of Forge Meadow.
That's the
Yeah,
one, yes,
right.
four
Oh,
properties, yes. Or the garden development, it was sort of, and the councillors at Maidstone come up with various reasons as to why it should be rejected, and the decision was unanimous. So I don't think there's anything more that I can say other than that. But if anybody did want to see that particular discussion, it is live, or was live, on the Maidstone website, and it's always an interesting thing to look at that. It's not quite so interesting when you sit on a committee.
What was the principal reasons?
Principal reason was they just didn't like the development.
It was lack of green space, lack of green space.
Parking was an issue.
Parking.
Good.
Green space. There was numerous different reasons. As I say, if I can refer you to
Good.
the Maidstone site,
Yeah.
then you can see the discussion for yourself.
Useful for further.
Yes, we still,
We're still waiting on it.
yeah, we're still waiting on Bell Farm, but I think I probably mentioned it at the last meeting that the new 5-year land supply that's coming is 6.3 years. So when you think that was what the that was their argument, which they disagreed with the Maidstone Borough Council's land supply. Unfortunately, they were lost on that one. But at the same time, we still haven't got a decision, so I'm not going to get too carried away at this stage.
But they did put, that was a major cornerstone of their
That was all their argument was.
So it wasn't
Yeah.
about us or
No,
anything.
it was just purely about the land supply. So the answer is we were told that the decision would be made within 4 or 6 weeks. 10 to 12 weeks down the line, we still haven't got a decision, but they are quite slow, as Lennon will know from last week with your which went against you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we just do not know what way the inspector is thinking or is likely to react. But what we do know is that the evidence that we put forward really does stack up. Sorry.
Yeah, can I bring up something else?
Yes, certainly.
Other planning issues.
Please do.
This is quite an urgent one. I've received an email from Circle Housing to say their next properties are available and they want to advertise them soon. This will be the affordable housing for the Church Road development that's being built at the moment. The email said that on checking the lettings plan, the local connection criteria has only been applied to those interested in the shared ownership properties. And we, as the landlord, think it should apply to all of the affordable housing units rented and shared and for shared ownership. Maidstone Borough Council are keen to stick with the lettings plan as it is presently, which means that it's open to anyone in the borough to apply for the housing. And we've always stipulated that it needs to be local needs housing first. So it appears that Maidstone Borough Council is saying that if we want the local connection to stay, we have to give them proof of individuals who are looking for local needs housing. Otherwise, they're going to be advertising it to whoever's eligible. Now, the houses that are coming up, is 2 one-bedroom flats, which will be second floor flats, 6 two-bedroom first.
Excuse me, second floor?
Yeah. Oh, that might.
You mean
be
first
that-
floor, surely?
No, second.
3-storey buildings?
Yeah. Are these
Good
the ones
grief.
that are in down the far end of the Barrett site then? Because they've got some flats there, hasn't they? Yeah. 6 two-bedroom ground floor flats and 2 two-bedroom houses. Now, they're saying that they need to know by tomorrow because these are going to be advertised next Monday. And if they don't take on these, like sort out the people to take on these and get them allocated, it could all fall through with the housing. So it's very, very desperate. Because I know people have shown an interest. A couple of people need 3-bedroom, which obviously isn't on offer at the minute. I had a list from the last sort of housing, so I'm going to email them that list. I don't know what size houses they wanted, but if they've put in their Maidstone application to go on the housing waiting list, all that information should be on there. And it will be down to them to see whether these people have already been allocated housing, because obviously they don't let us know. I have left some forms out over there, which is the local needs housing form, and I've attached how people apply for it on the back, just to give them as much information. I do always ask that when they fill these in and send them back, that they let us have a copy, so at least we know who's looking for housing. And because of the urgency, I have actually put this on our website under the standard documents part, which I will do. So it is on there for people if they want to apply for it. I'm just thinking put it on Facebook.
It went on a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so if they're going to miss out this time, I want to make sure, because they haven't given us really any notice at all, I want to make sure we're ready for the next lot, especially if they're going to be a slightly bigger house.
Yeah.
I don't want families in the village that we know do need those. We don't obviously want them going outside the village, so I think we need to actively get people letting us know so that we're ready for if any bigger ones come. So.
Where can I do know of somebody who is interested in it's a single person. Where can I get this data from?
It's on our website.
On the
Well, you
website.
can take one of these forms tonight.
I will.
In fact, you
Thank
can
you.
take that one.
Thank you.
But I need his details tonight, or very first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah, his name, address, and what size house he's looking for.
Okay.
And it needs to already be on the Maidstone Borough Council housing
Yeah,
list.
okay.
So if he's not on there, he needs to get on there for when the next lot come out.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Anna.
Chairman,
Yes.
does that relate to the Barrett?
I got the impression, because Circle Housing have got, oh no, that's Hyde
It's
Housing.
Hyde at the front.
Yeah, so it is the Barrett site. It is the Barrett
That's what I
site.
was going to say, I've seen
Yeah.
Hyde House.
Because I know down the far end, near the open space, that is affordable social housing and shared ownership down that end. And there is another lot of apartment blocks in there that I guess will be similar to the ones at the front.
Can we also contact Hyde, because obviously all these applications, apart from the Pullens, where it was accepted that there was going to be local needs housing with a fight, all the other applications, Maidstone Borough Council said no, we can't do that. They, for some reason, they think that it's preferential treatment for people, which I can't really understand how it is, because if people don't take it up, it goes to everyone anyway. And so they wouldn't allow it within the Barrett's development, as they didn't with the street development either. So obviously it's not the borough, is it, as you're saying, it's Circle saying we'd like to change the letting system and make it local. So perhaps we could talk to Hyde and ask if the same can be done there.
Yeah, so you want me to contact Hyde
Yeah,
and also say that we want a bit more notice really as well,
yeah.
because
So that we can find out exactly what people need.
Yeah, this is all last minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
in a position like we're here tonight.
Yeah.
Sounds like citizens.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, is there any more questions to Amanda on the housing, which is, well done, you have got all the answers, haven't you?
Oh, I don't know.
Pretty well there.
Let's say no on that.
Okay, item number 6 on the agenda, which is the communications. Do we have any,
No,
Thank you.
that's fine.
No, no.
Tim has joined the communications.
Excellent.
Committee?
I'm getting to grips with it.
Will you be doing the YouTube for tonight?
I don't know. That's the answer to that question.
No, if you can do it.
Okay, but I'll need somebody to pick it up. I can do it.
Yeah, then we can sort that
If
out.
you can return that later. Yeah, I'll do it. No problem.
Okay, excellent. Item number 7 is the environmental. Is there anything to
Well,
report?
we've got an environmental meeting coming up, so
Right,
there
okay, so,
are, Mike's got something to say, haven't you?
have you, Mike?
Well, it's all pretty much what's on
It's
there.
pretty much- yeah.
Basically, there was a whole load of things that we thought we needed to get costings for. So in a normal run of events, I've now got the costings. They go to Environmental Committee
Okay.
in a week or two's time.
Right.
That would recommend to July's council, and then we can actually do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought I'd try and short circuit it
Right,
by the request of delegated powers.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, if I can just, and the Woodlands Walk, the railings around the lake, on the far side of the lake, from me anyway, they're rotting. So they are going to need replacing. So we've had a quote for replacing the handrails. And that comes out of the Woodlands Walk fund anyway.
Okay. But the decision on that will be made at your next meeting
Yeah.
and reported back to us.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent, thank
Well,
you.
we're asking for delegated
Yeah,
powers.
I'm
Yeah,
Yes,
go on.
I think it makes sense,
Yeah.
yeah, given the
Right, so
time.
does someone want to propose?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, that's Fritz.
and someone second, yeah.
Yeah,
Is everyone in favour?
Yeah.
Takes
Okay,
too long otherwise, especially this time of the year.
Yeah, and some of those things do need doing
Yeah.
sooner